I don't know, can you hear the car shutting off? Uh, Riggs and I here are trying to find a spot where we have signal so we can get this Facebook Live done. So I want to thank you for your patience today. I guess parking lots are not full with really good signal where I'm at. And I didn't think I could make it all the way home and not be late. But, you know, that's what I get for thinking sometimes. Let me see, someone is finding me once again. I am Dr. Andy here. We're going to have our live chat on Facebook. If Keisha could let me know if this is a better connection, that would be awesome. Or I will throw up a time when we're going to reschedule this. It's not coming through just yet. So anyway, we're going to have a live chat on Facebook here. Oh, we can see and hear you. How does it get even better than that? Riggs, Riggy Piggy's in the back seat. He's been contributing. And today we're going to do our chat on apple cider vinegar, ACV. One product and 3 simple fixes for your dog. Because I can actually talk about apple cider vinegar quite a bit, which some may find just absolutely shocking. And Rixie too, right? So we're going to have a chat. We're going to energetically communicate. We're going to talk about health. That's mostly what we're going to talk about today. We're going to ask some questions, and we're going to have targets for what you want to be and do and play with your animals. So how does it get even better than that? So we're going to have a chat. So here's our disclaimer for our chat. This is not veterinary advice, treatment, or otherwise. This is information for you to utilize for you, with you, and your animals. Oh, we have people finding me. I apologize for my tardiness. I apologize for internet signal issues. And thank you for finding me. Hello, Erin. Thank you so much for joining me. And what if my target is to have a planet full of empowered pet parents? What would that take? Because what if empowering you to know what you know about your animals is what I'm here to support you with? Because what if you have the information to know what's going to work for you and your animals? So that's what we're here. And we're going to link that in with apple cider vinegar. I have been very resistant to apple cider vinegar for years and years and years and years. And I've read all the health benefits, and I'm still not drinking it myself. Sorry, I draw the line. But I remember growing up, and my mother used to make this coleslaw salad with vinegar, and she would stink up the house. And so vinegar and I have pretty gut-wrenching reaction. And then the Doberman joined the household. And I don't even know how I ended up with my first bottle of apple cider vinegar. And this is the organic, raw, unfiltered apple cider vinegar with the mother. Okay, the name brand is Bragg's. You can find other brands. Costco has one that is 3 full bottles for $7. That is an excellent deal. So I would run and get that if this is anything that you would like to play with your animal. So I don't actually know how I ended up with apple cider vinegar in my house. I don't recall at all why I decided to put it in Riggs food. But I did know that this reality, everything's the opposite of what it appears to be, and nothing is the opposite it appears to be. So we have a lot of HCl inhibitor meds on the market. Those, the ones that shut down all of the pumps in the stomach because your dog has heartburn or people have heartburn. And I am blanking on the actual name of those meds. There's a handful of them. For people, the name brands like Prilosec and stuff like that, that's over the counter. It's actually the opposite of what is required, because if you have food sitting in your stomach, you actually need the ACL, not the ACL, that's a ligament in the knee, HCl, hydrochloric acid, to digest that food. And when you don't have enough HCl, your food becomes fermented and you get heartburn. Everything's the opposite of what it appears to be. So if you use those meds to shut down your HCl pumps even more, you actually change the pH of your entire GI tract, which, if you have hung out with me at all, the GI tract is king. It is intimately involved in all body systems. the immune system, the skin, everything. So we want to support that the best we can. And because apple cider vinegar is highly acidic, we're actually supporting the acidic environment of the stomach to digest the food properly. So that is what I chose to do with my Doberman, just to support his digestion in general. We weren't actually trying to fix anything with it. We were just supporting his digestion, supporting his gut, because we're supporting his skin. Do you want to say hi, Riggy Piggy? And, you know, you don't need to whine the whole time. We got it. All right. Okay. He's just making sure. Y'all know he's still here. So, one product, 3 simple fixes. Itchy skin. Okay. Who has had a dog or who has a dog that suffers from itchy skin? Go ahead, pop that in the chat. Itchy skin. If at any point you've ever had that dog with that itchy skin. And usually what goes along with that is maybe the dog's kind of smelly, kind of yeasty smelly. So you have a yeast overgrowth in the body. Oh my gosh, yes. Oh my gosh, yes, right? Yeah. Or at least we know that neighbor dog that you didn't want to come over because, right? Apple cider vinegar is acidic. Yeast does not like acidic environments. So you can put it topically, or you can, like I described with Riggs, feed it. You also find it, you can put it in the water. I have found that most dogs do not like the apple cider vinegar in their water. Mine will all eat it in their food, no problem. Actually, this one, I don't even know how he eats as much as he gets, because you can give up to 1 tablespoon per 25 pounds, but work up to it. Start with a teaspoon, start with a small amount, make sure they don't mind it, and slowly go up with that. So play with that. But itchy skin, number 1, itchy skin, 50-50, and you can spray it topically on the skin. Be aware, your dog will smell like a salad. It is potent. There was actually, when I was looking at all these like sprays and you could wipe the whole dog with it. I don't know how realistic that is because it smells really bad. Like, I really can't stand the smell of it. But if you do have a skin issue, as long as there's no open wounds, it will burn. Just be aware that it will burn on open wounds. But on the skin, just as a supportive aid to help eliminate the yeast to build up on the skin, because we don't like an acidic environment, it's a great option. Number 2, ears. And actually, let's go back up to itchy skin, feet. When dogs are chewing on their feet, that moist, red, ouchy stuff between the toes, spray it in there too. And then they're not really going to want to lick it. Maybe, maybe not. It depends on how much they like the vinegar. But it could help with specifically the itchy feet too. Okay, number 2, ear cleaning. My favorite use of this. Because again, the star of the show, who's decided to lay down back there, and the reason that I have to smell vinegar so much in my house, his ears get red, they get itchy, they get a little gooey if he gets too much beef. I know he has a beef, I'm reluctant to use the word allergy, but it definitely bothers him. And we feed raw, so it's really easy to tell that protein source is an issue for him. And yet he still gets some of it, and I just manage it. Because you know what? A beef bone gives mama some peace for like 45 minutes every once in a while. So, we manage it. And we're aware of it, and we ask questions. And sometimes his ears get gooky anyway. So what I do is it's 50-50 with distilled water, or purified water, or filtered water, apple cider vinegar, water. And then I dunk the cotton balls in it and I squeeze it all out so they're really quite just damp. They're not really wet. We don't want to squeeze liquid in the ears. I have the most interesting point of view of why do we squirt liquid into their ears. I don't get it. I'll never get it. I keep asking for someone to come and explain to me why we would do that. Hi, Mike. Thank you for joining us. But I just wet the cotton balls and I just wipe out the ears until all the gunk is gone. And we just wipe I don't know. I don't know if you're frozen or I'm frozen. It's so hard to tell on this end of Facebook. I hope you come back soon. Or if I'm frozen, I'm sorry. Thank goodness we're recording and we can catch it later, although that defeats the purpose of being alive. But anyway, cotton balls wipe out both the ears, and to no avail. The next day, his ears are not red, they're not itchy, they're not stinky, they're not goopy. It is almost amazing how this can change the biome of the ears by getting it more acidic, by not allowing the yeast to continue multiplying, essentially, right? We have yeast overgrowth. That is not going to work if you have a full-blown ear infection. So consult your vet, be aware of that, do what you need to do about that. But he probably gets his ears wiped out 2 to 3 times a week, kind of period. Anything more than that, he gets really pissed off, and it gets a little drying. So you got to manage it. So it may be an everyday thing for a week, but usually not beyond that. Because be aware, it is an acidic product, and it can be pretty drying. You want to say hi again? We're not done yet. That was only number 2. Well, kind of. Now we'll go into 3. Okay. So number 1, itchy skin, 50-50, spray it on the skin. Be careful, open wounds. Apple cider vinegar. Because yeast does not like an acidic environment. So we're going to help the body out by artificially making it more acidic to limit yeast growth. Number 2, ear cleaning. Love it. 50-50 solution. Dunk the cotton balls in, squeeze out all the excess liquid. We're not putting excess liquid in the ears. We're simply wiping out what you can see. Do not dig down very far. Just wipe out all the gunk, go over the redness. Let's support the ear biome that way. And number 3, I already talked about how it ended up in his food. And for the life of me, I cannot remember for what reason I decided to do that. But it does. It prevents bacterial and viral overgrowth in the GI tract. It balances the digestive enzymes, increases that stomach acid, which was what I knew was going to contribute to supporting his GI tract. So if your dog is suffering, we'll use the term loosely. If your dog has, heartburn, that pukey, yellow bile, some foamy, don't really want to eat, but kind of want to eat, generally the indications of that, what if you tried some apple cider vinegar in the food? But Dr. Andy, heartburn is acidic. Why would I add more acidity, right? Why would we add to the acidic environment? Because everything's the opposite of what it appears to be. Nothing's the opposite of what it appears to be in this reality. Because when you have food sitting in the stomach and it putrefies, that's when you up the acid in the stomach and causes the heartburn. If you have enough HCl to digest all that food in a proper timeline, you don't get the putrefaction of it, and the food moves along and you don't have the heartburn. So if we can support the HCl, the hydrochloric acid, in digesting the food properly with adding more acid in the form of apple cider vinegar, you digest the food better, thus preventing heartburn. That is the thought process. That is the information that you can chew on, that you can go look up some more of, play with. Because really, you start with a teaspoon and it contributes and you have less heartburn and your dog eats its food better. Oh, look at that. If it doesn't go well, then stop. Maybe something else is going on. Maybe then you do need a conversation with your veterinarian about what's going on with your animal. Plus, right? It prevents that bacteria and viral overgrowth in the GI tract. We need all these bugs in there. We need bacteria. We need viruses. There's actually more bacteria in our bodies than there are living cells. It is a symbiotic relationship. we end up with dis-ease when the balance becomes uneven. Either, generally speaking, too much bacteria. So if we can manage the too much bacteria and bring that balance back, the dis-ease dissipates. Same thing with the viruses. And then balances digestive enzymes in the body, right? We feed raw at our house, so they get a lot of natural occurring enzymes in the meat. I don't generally actually supplement with enzymes, but you can. And if you're feeding a cooked diet where you're cooking some of the enzymes out, you are feeding a processed food such as, woohoo, Keisha's back, as kibble. You can add digestive enzymes to help digest those things, along with adding this to see if that would help with the whole process of digesting food if you are having signs and symptoms of poor digestion with your animal. Okay. ABC, one product, 3 simple fixes for your dog. Yeast doesn't like it. So 50-50, spray your dog down. Actually, I have not sprayed Briggs down. His skin is actually like screaming for it. And I'm like, I think him and I would be so unhappy. I might have to ask a few more questions. Not sure if I'm there yet. He gets so mad about his ears too. That's why we only do it, twice a week, maybe 3 times, because he gets very unhappy. Because you also have to balance the stress of this with what if we actually started balancing the stress of what we choose to do with our animals with what is going to work too. What if you consider it all? It's not just, I have to do this thing to fix this. What if we consider it all and what's going to work best? And you can put it in the water. I haven't found many dogs that like to drink their water after the apple cider vinegar is in it. Most do not bat an eye of it going in the food. And you can work yourself up to 1 tablespoon per 25 pounds. Throw it in the food. Once a day, twice a day, play with it. You choose what's going to work for you and your animal. Okay. Couple bonuses. You must dilute this. So when you put that, like when I put he gets 2 tablespoons in the morning. He then gets 4 ounces of water to dilute that. So whatever that is, it's more than 50-50 diluted. You must dilute it. So if you feed dry and you don't put any water in it and you just put the tablespoon on it, that's going to be very harsh on them. It's going to be harsh on all of the mouth structures, and it is known to actually eat away tooth enamel. So dilute. All right. Do not just use the bottle and put it directly on the ears. It will burn. You need to dilute. And do not put it on open wounds. It'll burn. Even if it's diluted, it'll burn on that. So be aware of that. And a fun fact that I forgot that I knew. See, all these bonuses. Bonus. 1 to 4. So 1 part apple cider vinegar, 4 parts water will actually remove most of your pesticides off your vegetables. So soak it in that. It actually even removes or disintegrates, or however you want to put it. It will actually take care of your Roundup, your glyphosate on your vegetables. So apple cider vinegar, like who knew? And that is the raw, organic, unfiltered, the one with the mother in it. So just read the bottles. If it says mother on it, that's the one we're looking for. Yeah, Keisha, it's not fun at all to drink it straight. And you really shouldn't drink it straight. Side note, I'm all about apple cider vinegar, and Miss Sean here. Hi, Deirdre. Like a miracle creation. I'm going to rat out my husband. I don't know if he's here. Sometimes he shows up to cause trouble. If you've been on a few of these, he's kind of a pest that way. Anywho, he has a patch of what we think is psoriasis. We haven't gotten a proper medical diagnosis. And I'm like, why don't you try ACV? And he's like, all right. So we mix up a 50-50 spray. Well, he had been scratching at it, so it was a little bit of an open wound. And he's like, oh my gosh, does it burn? So I know it burns. Not personally, but if he says it hurts, it hurts. And then we're reading up on if he should take it internally, because yes. Psoriasis, I guess, loves, another skin issue, loves an acidic environment. So why are we adding more acid? To help with digestion. So when the digestion in the stomach is complete, the rest of the system can stay its more alkaline pH and work properly. But anyway, but they actually recommend you use a straw and not get it on your teeth. So, that's the other reason why I'm like, ooh, maybe we shouldn't be putting it in the water for the dogs. I don't know how much water splashes on their teeth when they drink, but if dogs eat mostly like my dogs eat, that food just is like gone. And so it's not sitting on the teeth very much. They just inhale. So a couple of fun things about, well, my husband, psoriasis, apple cider vinegar, and your dog. Who knew? Who knew, right? Okay, so thank you for joining me for this Facebook, this live chat on Facebook. And chat, we're kind of playing with chat as, energetic communication with your animals, your health, asking questions, and what are your targets? And we're talking about apple cider vinegar today. 1 product, 3 simple fixes for your dog. You can spray it on their skin. You can wipe out their ears with it like bloody magic, let me tell you. And then you can put it in their food to help with their digestion. A very simple synopsis if you're just joining us. We did have some technical difficulties earlier, driving around parking lots trying to find a signal. So thank you so much for bearing with me. Always good to see you all. I will be back next Tuesday, 4:05 Mountain Standard Time. We're going to talk about ACLs, possible ACL tear, to brace or not to brace. That is the question. Always a hot topic, at least here in the Denver area. Knees, and is it torn, is it not torn, surgery, not surgery, brace, not brace, what else can I do? And so we'll go over my points of view. We'll have a little chat. That's all we're doing. And you hopefully will have more information that empowers you to know what you know about your animals and to choose what works for you and your animals. Yes. And actually, I should tell you all, he's finally decided to give up back there. He's like, I don't know what this woman's doing. But Riggy is with me today because we just got done with our ozone treatment with Dr. Jasek. And Dr. Jasek was on Dr. Andy's World Radio Show a few weeks back. So if you missed that episode, head back and listen to that. She explains it all. We go every other week. Riggs loves his treatments. And I can't really tell. Maybe I'll actually get some pictures of him up. And what all I contribute to him for his best self is not probably what you think he should look like. So thank you, Keisha. And thank you all for being with me today. And we'll be back next week on Tuesday, 4:05 Mountain Standard Time. Until then, how much fun can you have with your animals? Bye-bye.